So we just had a sell signal here in natural gas, but clearly the shorts are not favored. So 40% is a win rate for going short. The average trade is a loss of $309. So what we're looking for is a reversal off of this short into a long and holding for a long period to the end of the day. Now, let's take a look at specifically the shorts. So I switch over to the short view, and we see if any trade occurs between 8 and 8:30, it's a very significant loss going short at that time. So the loss is $2,940 over the last 55 Tuesdays. 27% win rate, very low. So 3 out of 8 times have we won. 3 wins, 8 losses. So this is definitely a time to be looking for long signals. Now, I don't think we should go long off of just the R1, but we should be looking at a lower time frame chart for long signals. And look, whatever your entry is, but I believe this market is definitely going up today based on the history. Of course, we trade with stop losses, and you don't want to violate your rules, but the bias here is what we're getting from expected high-low tool here. So we're looking to go long. Again, trading period has just turned about 8:05, and we trade from 8 o'clock to 15:30. We go entry on these signals. It is just occurred right at 8 o'clock. We broke through that high, and now we're looking to go long. So I will keep you up to date. All right, so let's take a look at copper, our next market. We just got a buy signal. We broke through the S1 for the copper market. This is the July copper. So if we look at Tuesdays, we see a really poor performance overall. These are overall numbers. But in the hour of the day, we see that it's really horrible for 8 a.m. and it's about 8:07 a.m. right now. Let's take a look at the more specific, just looking at long entries here. So this is long entries. We only see 1 win out of 4, so 20%, 1 out of 5 basically. So 1 win, 4 losses, 20%. This is a $3,900 loser. So we don't want to go buying at this level. What we do want to do is consider going short. So that's what we're going to think about. Very low probability of positive P&L if you trade this long signal, very low. So I think it's a short setup. So what you would do is you would go and look for short signals in copper, and you'd probably be targeting somewhere around $300 to $400 trade. That's your maximum favorable and adverse excursion. The adverse excursion is 446. So that means if we were to go long here, the average adverse excursion is $440, which in copper is like what is that? Control 1. That's $1,000. So $400 is right about here. So that's 35 ticks. So that's what your average adverse excursion is from. All right. So pursuant to our discussion about the natural gas market here, where we were looking to go long at the R1 level. Again, that's because going short at R1 is a really bad idea historically. So 40% win rate for going short. So we're going to be going long at R1. And I'm looking for a buy signal to occur. So we've been pushing lower and lower here on the 2-minute chart. So I just drew a line here for the, so I'm going to look at a 40 tick chart for my entry signal. So let's switch over to that 40 tick chart. And this line here, this blue line is at the R1 sell level. We're going to be buying and looking to go above that line. So let's go over to the 40 tick chart and see. All right, so this is the 40 tick. Couple things interesting here. We slammed into the $3 level and stopped on a dime. We hit the $3 level again, tested it again, and we stopped. Although there was some strength going down into that move. Both moves had some strength going down into the round number level of $3. I'm going to look for a bounce. I would like to be buying maybe above here. Again, this is the R1 level. This is R1 for the natural gas today. And another reason to be going long here is we're in this between the green and the red dotted line, the green solid line and the red dotted line. So this is a daily ATR projected onto a 40-tick chart. And what this green level and red level means is right around here in this band is usually the lowest part of the ATR. So the average ATR shows us that on average the market moves to this low before reversing. So we're looking at kind of context of how this market is today, and it is at its oversold level based on daily ATR. We just hit a round number. We have expected high-low data showing us that we should be moving above this blue line. And here we've got some strength coming in. I'm going to wait for a little retrace off of that move. Ideally, I like to see it move down to about 50% of this swing. So let's do a retracement. So if we see a move, I'm going to say back down to that 50% level, I would consider going long above that $3.02 level. Yeah, we just about hit it there. One more push and we'll hit the 50% level. All right, so we just hit it. So I'm going to go long 3 contracts on a buy up here, buy stop. I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back when we hit that. Well, that was catastrophic failure. I was knocked out of the internet for about 10 minutes here. Yeah, from 8:37 till right about now, which is 8:47. This was a completely. I put the stop entry in at that price, but my internet was out for 10 minutes. So definitely a good trade though. Went long right there. We are still moving higher with nat gas. So if you were able to make that trade, that's great. But again, this is based on here. This is where my internet stopped on this chart. We were right at the $3 level. Well, folks, well. All right, well, we're back. My internet has been crazy today, so we had a real problem. Again, back when the internet went out, this was the setup we had for natural gas. So we were looking to buy and be long and be a price to move above the R1 level, which is basically what that level is right there. This blue line. Well, my internet went out right as we were hitting the $3 level, which is some great round number support for natural gas today. And I was out. So I was out from about 8:37 until it's finally stabilized now. So anyway, we had a great setup here. Had I been long, I probably would have been trailing this and probably got out right when it hit the retrace back to that $3. What was this level? $3.05 level. All right. Well, it would have been a great trade. Going from here up to here, we're looking at 3 contracts with a $750 profit. Hey, we're going to catch the next one. Let's take a look, though. One thing I wanted to show you, too, is copper has just been ripping it up. Now, copper, when we analyze that guy, this was the about 8 o'clock, 8:05 setup in copper. It went through the support level, S1. So that's a long. It's a buy. So the longs are only winning 7 out of 18 times. Does it close above the support level? So it's usually a 39% win rate. Well, today it definitely has been up. It has been up. So thankfully we don't go short. The idea here is to counter that trade and not go long, but to go short, because then you're a 61% winner if you go short. We're holding on, seeing if copper comes back and does any sort of sell signals. It has been on a rip. Here's the short-term view of copper. We came right into another support level at 445 for copper, and it just has not looked back. I just want to see what level that's at. Let's go and make that an all charts line. So this is where our support 1 was, S1. We're looking to go short. If copper does slow down, we could be looking at a sell signal that could retrace all the way back down to there, which would be great. Let me take a look at silver. Today, on Tuesday, silver favors a long at S1. So the longs are winning 56% of the time, but not by much for $70 average gain. It's interesting that silver and copper have a different outlook on Tuesdays. Usually they move in conjunction with one another, and they sort of do today, but silver did have a good sell-off right here. Let's take a look at silver again. So we had a good sell-off. Again, this is a severely overbought condition. Being above this pink and green area here, that's my ATR indicator. Very, very much overbought there. Could have been a couple of good sell signals. I would have been interested to buy right on a retouch of that round number of $29.5 an ounce. Would have been interesting. All right, guys, I'm out of time. Thanks for sitting with me on this analysis. Let me know if you have any questions.